Let's talk about how client galleries are evolving volume photography business. What's up, everyone? My name is Sal Sincata. We're here on another episode of Hot Takes, and we are going to talk about how using client galleries are evolving for volume photographers. Look, as a volume photographer, even as a portrait photographer, client galleries are now part of the equation. You know, if we rewind years back, that was a nice to have. But today, that gallery is sitting right in the middle of our sales process. Customers are demanding more. Photographers are demanding more. So we got a great panel here with us today that are going to talk through this. We've got Tim McCain, James Micklethwaite. Did I do it? Oh, man, I'm getting so good at this. And we've got David Drum from H&H. Gentlemen, thanks for being here. Please introduce yourselves.
Yeah, how you doing? I'm Tim McCain from Captura, the Chief Evangelist Officer.
I'm David Drum from H&H Color Lab, head of business and product development.
And I'm James Micklethwaite. I'm CEO of Got Photo.
Well, I just love having all the competitors sitting here at one table.
Yeah, it's great. We're all friends.
Yeah, we're all friends. Yeah. Maybe we'll see when the cameras go off if that's still the case, Tim. All right, let's get to it, though, guys. Tim, I'm going to start with you on this. From what you're seeing across your customer base, how has the role of client galleries changed in just, say, the last 3 to 5 years?
So it's been crazy. We see that they have to not just be a regular shopping cart now, just some place to come and get. It used to be just some place to transact, have your transaction. Now it's got to be flashy. It's got to be enticing. It's got to be secure. It's got to have a lot more products available in them. So it's changed a lot in the last year, actually. It keeps evolving.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think back to when I started, there were no online galleries. And then I remember you could buy code to make your own online gallery. Then I just started using Lightroom galleries to show my clients images, and then have to either call me or email me with whatever their order was. So now it's just, I believe, and I'm curious what you think here, the client gallery is a part of my brand as a photographer.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? So whatever you design, right, has to match my brand and what my customers expect of me.
And people used to put images just up online and just blast them. Yeah. And now, they're running them through retouching and color correction. And you got to put your best foot forward because that's your first. That's right. Sometimes your client's first look at you.
That's right. And they are judging us based on
Absolutely,
online.
They're judging.
James, what about you? What are you guys seeing across the customer base from the role that the galleries played and how it's changed over the last 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think I would echo what Tim said in terms of what we see is something that was pretty simple. It was just check out, buy something previously. And now the word I'd use maybe is you want to create more of an experience. It's actually an experience. You want to wow your customers. I totally agree with what you say about brand. Many of our customers at Got Photo, not like portrait photographers, they don't have their own website. They just use...
Right, they're using that.
They use the gallery. The gallery is their website.
Where back in the day, you would use like SmugMug or something, right?
Exactly.
As your brand.
Exactly, yeah. So it's more of an experience. And then I think commercially as well, for our customers and the way we think about it, is it's now right in the middle of a much wider conversion funnel. Right. And we think about a monetization window effectively. Picture day is an event, and that window starts before picture day, the marketing moment. And then, the gallery is one part of that wider monetization window that is just, it's ultimately what matters most to our customers.
Yeah, and if you trip over that step in the process, you're losing sales.
Exactly.
Right, at the end of the day.
Yep.
Now, James, James said the same thing you said, except he's got a better accent. So it sounded...
Yeah, he's better looking, all that.
Yeah, but just the accent. He already... Yeah, he got you on that
totally
one.
agree.
Yeah, I'm rooting for you, though, by the end of the day.
That's why I can't fight with him. He's got me beat.
I'll take that. Unfair advantage. I'll take that.
Yeah, take it. All right, David Drum, what are your thoughts about that? From what you're seeing across the customer base, how has that changed over the last 3 to 5 years?
There's 3 things that come to mind. First, obviously, how dominant mobile is now. We've all had to design mobile first. The second thing is that the e-commerce piece is completely linked to the workflow. It's not a separate thing that you do your workflow and then you create a gallery, that this is kind of an organic thing that's living constantly with the updates of images and everything else. And I think the third piece is that all the different companies out there that are providing these e-commerce services are targeting sometimes different customers. You know, preschool, the way you sell preschool is very different than underclass, and the way you sell sports is different than volume seniors. And so creating different experiences and different sales methods for the different types of photography, I think, is super important. And I think as time goes on, we've had to become more sophisticated in handling those different types of photography.
So this isn't meant as a gotcha. I'm just genuinely curious because you're right about the mobile. So I'm curious from each of you, what percentage of users are on mobile nowadays? Because obviously if you rewind 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's completely different. And I think about like my buying habits as a consumer and my wife's, we're more likely, probably 70% is going to happen on the phone, right?
Yeah,
so what's your percentage of customers?
Yeah, we see 82%. 82% are on mobile.
From the photographer's customer, right?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dave, do you know that number?
We had 80% as ours, so yeah.
We have 80 as well, but the other one I'd add, because we've just fully kind of relaunched our online shop. We're just reaching the end of that project. Mobile was absolutely the center of that. But I think there's a misconception, maybe amongst us, but certainly amongst our customers, that there was a lot of browsing, but not a lot of buying. And of course, in the age of Amazon, that's not what we see. We see north of 2/3 of transactions happening on the mobile as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of browsing, but a lot of the business is happening there as well.
And that just makes it that
So
much.
I think he meant mobile, not mobile.
Yeah.
I'll translate for that
Translate for the
accent.
Americans. You can't pick up on that. Thank you.
All right.
Always, Tim, you're always there for everybody.
Yeah,
man.
hey.
No, that just makes it all the more important, right? That your mobile experience is really going to be a good one, because if I'm hearing everything you're saying, if that experience is not good for mom or dad at home, you're going to potentially lose that transaction, right?
100%. Yeah.
All right, next question. David, we'll start with you here. Where is the most common pitfall that many photographers underestimate, or what is the most common pitfall that photographers underestimate, the impact that the gallery experience has on sales, support, customer trust? Obviously, we just talked about mobile. That can really impact sales. But what else? What's the most common pitfall?
I think, honestly, the most common pitfall would be a photographer not using their own gallery.
For what? Their own business, you mean?
For just knowing how their gallery works.
Oh, like just trying it, yeah.
There's a lot of people who are just, ramping up their volume part of the business. They set up for the season. We've made changes, and they launch their galleries and they walk away. And and then someone calls and says, "Hey, I got a question," and they kind of freak out because they don't have confidence that it's working. And then they actually use it themselves, and they're like, "Oh no, this is really simple. This is how it works."
Right.
But one of them is just not using their own stuff from their client's perspective.
I always laugh when we've all gotten emails from companies, and hell, we've all probably sent out bad emails from our own companies where like a graphic is missing, or I'm like, yeah, when I get those, I'm always like, yeah, nobody tested this email before it went out, right? James, what about yourself on that particular question? What's a common thing that photographers underestimate on how a gallery can impact their business?
I think the one I would pick is actually the pricing and packaging. So like I was saying before, the gallery is not just a collection of beautiful pictures,
Right.
but it's also how you choose to construct your packages and your pricing. And one of the pitfalls we often see, we talk to our customers a lot about this, is a tendency to overcomplicate, right? Because there's a great book called The Paradox of Choice, which you may be aware of, but essentially just choosing is really painful and very, very difficult. And pricing and packaging, it's a bit of an art, very much not just a science, but it's easy to get a bit carried away. We often see way too many packages in our store, and everyone's bamboozled, right? And what you can see is that, frankly, we live in this wonderfully high intent purchase industry, right? Standard e-commerce, 10% or less conversion rate, and we're, 50 upwards. It's insane. People they want to buy the pictures ultimately. They just want to be shown what to buy, how to buy it,
Right.
as easily and as beautifully as possible.
Analysis paralysis.
Correct, exactly. So keep it simple. That's or not keeping it simple is the pitfall I would pick.
Oh, that's great advice just for life.
Yeah.
Period. Tim, anything to add to that? Like, where are you seeing? Like, I've noticed nobody, and I don't want to put this to you, but I've noticed nobody said anything about support or client trust. So is it really just about the basics here?
I think it is about the basics. What you said about the price sheet, I 100% agree with. I also think that it's that one of the pitfalls with the price sheet is they're trying to use it like they used a paper form.
Yeah.
So they go create their price sheet the same way as they did, and it's not the same.
No. It's not
you know,
gonna look
and
the
so
same.
yeah, so we try to counsel on above the fold type stuff and strikeout pricing and things like that because that you didn't do in your, you know, we don't want package ABC through whatever and 55 background choices because people do get lost. But yeah, the strikeout pricing and things, it's a different experience and it should be treated differently when you create it.
Yeah. I always tell a photographer specifically, like, be a consumer. Be your own consumer. Like, what would motivate you? Like, you know, we've all been there. I'll doom scroll late at night. I love golf. So inevitably I'll see something on golf. I'll be like, I need that. And it's a quick, easy purchase because I can just hit a button. My info's automatically populated. Obviously with kids, I've got to look and select my photo. But the point is, the simpler we can make the transaction, the better. So whether that's pricing or whatnot. I am curious. This question isn't here, but now it's making me think. How do you see, okay, so this is a two-part question, really. Is support part of the equation, and are we incorporating AI support in the equation? So here's what I mean. I can see a parent scrolling, right, 11 o'clock at night. They're not going to get a hold of that photographer. Is there a plan to incorporate some sort of AI help where I can start asking questions about my order, delivery time, even though that may be somewhere in the FAQ? Is there any plans for that?
I'm going to jump in just because I'm real passionate about it. So I believe there should be some AI help and ways to get those orders done. When it comes to our customer, not the parent, I fight that every single day because this is, for us, this is a relationship business like with the studios. And so you want to have a live person, you want to talk to somebody. But at the parent level, absolutely, I think there should be some. And
are you
not
saying
overdone.
the photographers, though, are pushing back on it?
Yeah, we get a little bit of pushback.
That's interesting.
Yeah. People are scared right now of AI. Well, I saw some stuff you did. People are scared of a lot of things with AI. AI can be great. And
I think using it as a productivity tool,
absolutely, 100%.
it makes sense. To hand over my entire business to it, of course not. And again, be a consumer. For me, there's times where I'm busy all day, right? We're here, we're filming. Maybe I ordered something, but I want to know where my order is, right? I'm not going to get a hold of somebody at 11 o'clock at night on the East Coast. So I just want to be able to go and say, hey, where's the status of my order? And then maybe that AI can help me track it. Because you're seeing companies like FedEx, UPS, right, do stuff like that. I was just wondering if that was on the horizon for you guys.
For us, it is, and I believe in it. But
Yeah.
go ahead, James.
Yeah, and it absolutely is for us as well. I mean, we try to, in our platform, provide as much visibility of the order chain as we can, and we get good feedback about that. But we see huge opportunity in AI, agentic AI specifically, because I think there's just tons of inefficiency here. We sit in the middle of an ecosystem, and we have parents, we have photographers, and we have our lab partners, and it's just massively inefficient watching the messages go back and forth.
Of course. Well, I was just on the podcast that we were filming before this. We were talking about an elevated experience for your clients, right? Yeah. Well, it is not an elevated experience for me if I've got to wait 3 days for you to respond to me. And maybe my question was as simple as, what's the difference between gloss and semi-gloss, or semi-gloss and matte finish? Yep. Why do I have to wait for anybody? Why do I have to dig through your website? This should just be something that, to me, is where I see AI doing its job in a productive way. Yep. Dave, you want to add to this?
Yeah, I think it's both. I think we have to be very careful to not give up the human touch, either as software companies, as labs, as professional photography companies, to parents. We can't give up the human touch, but we also have to realize that parents are busy, people are busy, they're working on their mobile devices at night, on weekends, and real-time communication is just needed. So starting with a beautifully simple design and a lot of transparency and doing the hard work behind the scenes to make sure lab status is shared on these platforms seamlessly. Yeah. So there's all that background work to there's no sense in simplifying something complex, right? Design it well to start with, but then add on some of the knowledge bases for some of the questions that you're talking about. It takes time to build those things. Yep. And I think we need to be transparent about when you're dealing with a person versus when you're dealing with a virtual assistant. Yeah. But I think it's an and of all those things.
Well, and I think, Dave, just to add to what you're saying, I think over the next year, 2 years, people are going to understand that I'm not dealing with a human. I am dealing with an AI, but I expect to be dealing with an AI. You should be able to automate the answers to simple questions. All right, let's keep moving. James, I'm going to come to you. what's a pattern you're seeing among the fastest growing, customers you have or the healthiest studios you have when it comes to their strategy on how to use galleries?
Yeah. I think this is a really interesting one. I think, again, for me, this starts before you even get to the gallery. And actually, interestingly, I think this was the topic of the previous conversation you were just having at this table. But getting the balance right between quality and efficiency and volume, I think is super important. So our best performing studios realize that multiple poses, like you just want to, not too much, but you want to have different varied poses in the gallery. And the way the gallery presents itself, that makes a very big difference
to the parents.
Exactly, to the parents and to sales ultimately. Like, so if you're looking to maximize your sales, it is worth investing that bit of extra time in having a good variety of varied poses in the gallery.
Yeah, I mean, the way school photos have changed from when you were a kid or I was a kid. I mean,
Yep.
it was a mugshot. It felt that way too, right?
Exactly.
Now these kids are getting, various backgrounds and
Yep.
all those things. So I get that. I think variety is going to drive sales for sure. Now, I'm not a volume photographer. I'm a portrait photographer. So for us, with our high school seniors that come through, we give them 5 different outfits, 5 different locations. Yeah. Obviously, you can't do that in school. So this is your way of dealing with that.
Yeah.
David, what's a pattern you're seeing among our fastest growing customers, healthy studios, when it comes to how they're using galleries?
I feel like there's 2 questions in the question there. One is growth and the other is profitability, because we're seeing both. People are being successful and some people are failing at both of those, right? So if we're talking growth, I usually find that it's people who are focusing on one particular area and saying, I'm going to grow this area. And it's a strategy around how do I fill in the slow seasons with enough to keep cash flow going in the off season, right? And I do think a big blind spot for many of our customers is really minding the profitability. And it's something that I think it's so easy coming in as a photographer, because so many of our customers started as portrait photographers and are learning the volume business. And so you scale a mediocre idea, you're going to get mediocre results at scale. And so really being able to keep track of profitability, especially labor. We see a lot of people spending a lot of money on labor and not managing their people or their staff or their part-time photographers well. So I think there's a huge opportunity as we start using these platforms to capture more data that give them more visibility about the quality of the images, about how long it's taking to capture, because we have that data, how long it's taking to import in the post-production. I think we could do a lot better job providing the metrics that will help them run their businesses better.
That'd be really interesting to see. Tim, you want to add to this? So what's a pattern from your customer base that you're seeing when it comes to their strategy on galleries?
So first, both those guys had brilliant answers. I'm glad I went last. All the good stuff's taken. No, speed to getting your images online is really important right now. The faster you
Is
get
that a problem in the volume market?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because of what David's talking about, well, both of them, it's in James as well, with workflow and taking too long and throwing a bunch of labor. We have a guy here in Las Vegas who throws his images up ready to go, best foot forward, like I talked about, with color corrected, retouch. I mean, beautiful imagery, same day as he took the picture, and he's killing it.
So you would say his same, is he doing prepay or is he doing?
He's doing proofing.
Oh, so he's doing proofing.
Yeah,
so,
and he puts them all online, multiple images, and like you said, he has good process. He's got good process. He doesn't throw labor at it. He has a lot of AI stuff that he's doing, and he puts it all up online. And it, just think about that. If you get your
people are excited.
You get your photo. You sent your kid off with the bow in their hair. You sent them off that day, right? Then they came back and you're sitting at dinner and they're being whatever they're being. They're being kids. I got 3 of them. They don't look like you sent them off anymore. And your phone dings, and you got that image right there. It's a beautiful thing. And I think the people that can get it as fast online with good looking images and a good process is the way to go.
Yeah, that's the future. So I just want to push on you on this. Not that I believe it, but I know some people out there will say that. If I push it too fast, doesn't that water down what I do as a photographer? It makes it look like it's so easy anybody can do it.
Yeah, so you can go that way.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Neither do I. But you can go that way. I'm going to go back to what David said here, and it's along the same lines. When I first got into this industry 25, 26 years ago, we'd go and I'd say, We did software for school photography and volume for, and we were pushed out. I mean, that was, I'm not going to say what we were called, but we were this redheaded stepchild. School photography was not it. It was portraiture and it was wedding, and those guys, school photography makes money. So if somebody wants to say it waters it down, I totally can get it, or they see it's anybody could do it, but they can't.
Right.
They can't. And we make money.
Yeah.
School photography makes money. It's the one that's been tried and true. So
yeah, no, I agree with it. Even from a portrait side of business, for us, we try to turn our wedding images in 2 weeks or less, which compared to what you're talking about is like, years. But in my world of wedding photography, if you're doing it 2 weeks or less, that is fast, right?
Absolutely.
Because we find that we have better sales the faster we turn their images versus the longer it takes for them to see their images, because they've moved on to other things in life, especially married couple, right? Now they're, the brakes went on the car, or, now they're buying a new home. It's just other things are happening.
Well, and think about that real quick. At a that's a big event. And they move on to their life after that big event for a couple. School pictures, right? That's a frustrating morning is what that is to get them ready, right?
Yeah.
So they've definitely moved on. So
I want to see the fruit of my labor.
Yeah, the further away that you get from that, the less emotional that purchase is, and that's what we all make our money on.
Yeah. No, it's brilliant. It's a great answer. All right, David, we're going to start with you on the last question. What's one assumption photographers still have about galleries that you believe will be outdated in the next few years?
I think probably the one that I'll say hope that becomes outdated is that there's only one way to sell. That I hope photographers continue to run experiments and try different ways of selling, try different photography, try different pricing packages, and continue to share results. And one of the numbers that we've talked about is sales per person photographed, not average sale, because it tells a more complete picture. That especially when you start talking about different sizes of businesses, that if we can continue to run experiments, then we won't get locked into there's only one way to photograph and only one way to sell for the different kinds of photography that are out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. James?
I think I need to go back to the topic that you both talked about, because I fully agree with that. There is and I think you cited it, there's a perception in the industry that if you do something fast, the quality is not good. And that, in my view, is that will change, because that's completely bogus provided the quality is there.
Of course.
And the quality will get there. If we keep pushing the quality and the speed, everyone will just expect it. And I would echo what Tim said, which is that we're in a very emotional business here. So the closer you can get selling to that emotional moment, we at Got Photo are now talking about this. Our goal is online by dinner time, right, for all our customers.
That's brilliant.
And that is, you come back from picture day, which is an event, albeit with some pain, and the emotion is fresh. And it's like, okay, let's now review and buy the pictures from picture day at dinner time, same day.
Well, and I think photographers that are not embracing that over time, they're going to fall out of favor. And then if I'm a photographer, volume photographer, and I'm going to sell to a school, that to me would be my competitive advantage.
Yep.
I would say, here's how we run picture day, and we guarantee those pictures will be online same day. Well, if I'm looking at multiple photographers, which one am I going to want, be more likely to book?
Yep.
All things being equal. All right, Tim, take us home. What's an assumption that photographers have about galleries that you believe will be outdated in the next few years?
That it's a dead-end transaction.
Expand on that.
It's a one and done, or they go. You remember we'd send the envelopes home and you get your $20 back, and that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. Putting images online, you can continuously market to them. We're seeing people make 40% of their money within the first month and a half, and then 60% over the So it's taking a transition. That's in a proofing plan usually,
Right.
But you can go multiple times with the same images. And COVID taught us that. We had no inventory at Captura. Nobody was taking fresh photos. Yeah, we had our best year ever in 2020 because people went back to images that they had, and they were great at marketing. They said, "Remember when things were normal?" And they sent a picture of their little kid, and you're like, "Oh my God, yeah, I remember."
Your
that.
system's set up for that remarketing, nurture
Absolutely,
sequencing.
yeah, absolutely, yep.
So that's interesting that you say that, because it just makes me start thinking about all the businesses out there that are. Is there any? Well, before I finish my thought, when you say that's not the end of that transaction. Are you finding any of your customers are doing additional types of marketing to customers?
Oh, for sure.
Like, are they trying to sell, and again, I'm naive to this, are they trying to sell like family portraits or, you know, sports portraits? Are they doing anything like that?
Yeah. And they're doing some of that stuff. They're also using the same images with different backgrounds to go and hit them up at Valentine's Day, for different types of Father's Day. Father's Day is the one that always cracks me up because you go get your mom something really nice and then you know they're like, $20 photo.
Yeah, right. Get them a mug.
And no, hey, thank God they do that. I'm very thankful for anybody that's buying
Dad's
mugs.
little angels.
Yes. But yeah, so they're doing all the above, and it's a good chance to get them in to your studio. You do multiple work, and like David said, you want to keep going throughout the year, right? I think that another thing with that I know this is online stuff, but yearbooks, like getting into yearbooks is a way to get the money going. It's an opposite season. We got to think about things like that.
Well, I love this, guys. Thank you for being here and taking the time. Hopefully you guys watching have gotten something out of this. Special thanks to Tim, James, and David for being on the episode today. If you like this video, like, subscribe below, and hopefully you got something out of it. For H&H and Hot Takes, we will see you in the next video.